to the point, and the other one is my device is not fully charged. All right, I want to talk about being apologetic or else being giving an apology. A lot of times we feel like that just telling somebody I'm sorry, you know, is going to be all that it takes in order for you to smooth over things with a person. However, if you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there was something that you said that caused somebody to have some kind of harm, all right, the best thing to do is to find a way to be able to fix that. First of all, you need to take some time out before you go and apologize to that person. Think about it, what it was that was said, how was it done, what you can do to fix it. Because some relationships with other people, uh, they can become irreparable because we didn't take time out to figure it out exactly what we need to do to make things better. So when you find yourself in a position that you owe somebody an apology or someone owes you one, chances are that if you don't take time out to think it through thoroughly, you know, find out if it's worth repairing. Is this something that you really want? Then you can make a decision whether or not that you feel like you want to repair it, or you want to say you want to apologize. Sometimes people give apologies just because they feel like, well, if I just say I'm sorry, you know, everything will be back. But they don't mean it from the heart. It's best when you do it with sincerity, opposed to just saying it out from your lips. Because if there's some sincerity in your apologies or being apologetic, chances are you're going to be saying in the back of your mind, okay, what can I do to fix this? All right? Because I want this person to know that I'm sincere, whether it's on a job, being around friends. You have some people that will never apologize for some things that they've done out of fear of being embarrassed, ashamed, you know, and they do it because of notoriety, because they want to be the bigger, all the attention upon them, you know, and they feel like that if they can trash another person, yay, you know, and get away with it, that's going to make them look good in other people's eyes. But sometimes you need to be the bigger person, and it takes a big person, a strong person, to be able to apologize or to admit that they're wrong. Now, that can go a little further than that. Let's say that your day started off good. You had your first cup of coffee, cocoa, tea, whatever it was. You got your exercise in. You went in your meditation. You did your prayers. And next thing you know, as soon as you walk out the door, all right, you hit with multiple things. Who knows? Your water got cut off. Uh, you come outside and find somebody and hit your vehicle, but they didn't leave no note or anything behind. Or you go to your job and then you find out that they cutting your hours. All of this stuff can accumulate and cause you to be in a bad mood. And all it takes is just one more thing to set a person off. And then they say some things, sometimes that they can't come back from, or they feel they can't, opposed to them taking a deep breath and just blowing that shit off. It ain't always easy. But being apologetic for things that you know you've said or done, you got to think about it. You got to put yourself in that other person's shoes, you know, or think about it. Now, if there's somebody that I want to apologize to because I care about this person, or you care about the people that they're connected to, so then you find that sincerity within you, and you think about the whole thing. You replay the whole thing back in your mind. I said this. All right, they said that. And then you ask yourself, did all of this here erupt because I was in a bad mood? And majority of times you'll find out that it had something to do with something else that happened, but it was taken out on the wrong person. I'm not saying try to find an excuse to be able to say, well, I did this because this, that, and other happened. But when you do give an apology to other people, another person's sincere apology, Never go back and says, well, I did such and such because, and if you wouldn't have, because instead of you really apologizing, you still find an excuse why you did that. I have apologized to so many people in my life, regardless whether it was my fault or not, because I wanted to make the peace and I felt like the relationship was worth keeping. It doesn't matter if it was platonic or it was intimate. If I felt like that the relationship was valuable, regardless whether or not it was my fault or not, I would come back and I say, I apologize for this, that, and other, such that I don't just give the apology. And that's where a lot of us make a mistake. When we say, I apologize or I'm sorry, you leave it right there. Instead of saying, what are you apologizing for? I apologize for walking out on you without giving you an explanation. I apologize for, not reaching out to you and telling you that I wasn't going to pick you up for work this morning. And I just went on my merry way and left you to fend for yourself. That was very immature of me, irresponsible. And I should have been better at reaching out to you and communicating and letting you know what was going on. So you could have had a backup plan. But since I made that mistake, and this is just me just doing a little example, okay? Since I messed up, I want to fix that. It can go anywhere to you want to repair that relationship with that person, from you making sure that they have a bus card to get to and from where they need to go, for X amount of time. Or setting it up for them to have an Uber to get to and from, or to their destination every day for a week. And that can be accepted as part of the apology, because that the other person sees that you're really trying, and they're gonna take that, and they're gonna hold it dear to their heart. So when it comes to apologizing to people, please take some time out and think it out thoroughly, regardless whether or not if it has something to do with one of your peers, or have something to do with you in business. Even the Bible tells us in business be men, regardless whether you're male or female. That means come with a sober mind, with an understanding, and be willing to correct some wrongs if some come. Yeah, if there's something that you're responsible for, and while it's in your care, something happens to it, it's your responsibility to replace that, to fix that. Okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to talk a little bit about being apologetic and giving apologies to others. I hope this is beneficial for someone. Someone may want to hear this. Y'all have an amazing night.